This is Natalie back at Natalie's Hoya Haven, and I'm in my upstairs plant room today. I have lots of cleaning to do, and I want to take you with me, kind of show you a before and after of how bad my plant room actually gets and how nice it's going to look at the end. And we'll speed through all of that. In the meantime, I will be making stops along the way. I got some nice Hoya, some nice growth coming on in and outside of my grow tent. I've got some other plants doing well as well, and I want to show you those. So I'm like, well, why not do a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of showing off of my plants? So in case you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit farther away today, and that is because I bought a ring light. Kind of like a little early birthday present. And I got it at Walmart. It was, I think, around $30. And it allows me to move around and have adequate lighting. And it also holds my phone right in the middle. So for whatever reason, the remote on it is not working. But I don't really care about that. As long as the light works, I don't need the remote. So I'm going to be using this today for the first time. So if you notice a little bit better lighting in my room, that's why, because it's certainly not from the sun outside. You can see we have a very, very dreary day again in Ohio. But let me show you around what I'm dealing with today. So, sorry about that. Okay, so we've got all of this going on. So this, when I start repotting plants, this is what ends up happening. I get really bad junk. Okay, just going to show you around the complete room. Here is my ring light. I did take it off so that I could show you around the room, show you the big mess I'm dealing with. There's my closet door. Mess. More mess. And usually this gets the worst of it because this is where I do my repotting. And yeah, so over here we've got two different sections and some pots underneath. If you're wondering why I have the buckets in here, so I get water. We add water softener salt to our water, so I don't want the plants to get that water. So I get my water down from the basement and I let it sit out for about 24 hours before I water, to get rid of all the extra chemicals and stuff. I heard that letting it sit out for 24 hours can help with that, so that's what I do. Anyways, I end up having buckets all over the house, basically. Wherever I have plants, I have buckets. So that will get cleaned up. And then here's my grow tent on this side. And don't look too bad from a distance, but if you get closer, I drop plants on a weekly basis. It's actually very rare that I go through a watering and don't drop at least one or two plants, as you can tell. And I don't always have time to clean it up, so sometimes all I got time to do is water. And when I have an extra day like today, I'm off work today, I got a little extra time to deal with this. And then one more thing I want to show you. It's always a mess, but at least it's inside a closet. Is I do keep extra stuff in here. I think some of my items will end up in the closet today. So anyhow, that's what we're looking at, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I also have to fill up my humidifier. So that ran totally dry. A little bit of bad news. My 2-leaf cutting of Polyneura variegated died. I don't know what I did to it. I had it probably a month. Couldn't get it to grow. Immediately started dying. So, you know, I could be brokenhearted over it. I am a little bit, but it is what it is. I have come to accept that some plants I will probably just kill. I do have the regular Polyneura that I got at the same time. And, oh, sorry. It's doing okay, but it may die as well. And if it does, I'm never, ever, ever buying Polyneura again. Remind me of that. Okay. My other Polyneura leaf. Moisture meter, highly recommend. Gives you a good idea of when you need to water your plants. And some I can tell on my own just by how heavy the pot or light the pot is, or if the leaves are drooping, but some of them you can't tell as easily. For that, I use my moisture meter. I got it on Amazon. It was probably around $10. So I think this is like the third one I've owned. And I usually will have a bunch of pots I'll need to go downstairs and wash. So setting up a little area for those. Another great purchase is my label maker. I paid $40 for this. The refills are about $10 each, but comes in handy with remembering what all the names of all my plants are. So I'm constantly using this. Very good find. It is a Ripsalis variety. I don't remember which kind. Oh, Pentaterra. That's what it is. It's not doing good. So I'm going to reroot this as well in something much, much smaller. Totally had to reroot my Marble Queen. However, look at those roots. Look at them. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to this today, repotting this one. But it's actually starting to put out new growth, even just sitting in the water. So something about that is just really pretty and satisfying. But I know it can't live in there forever. Same with my itty bitty one. He's got roots too. He's got roots. I also have my Palea peperomoides, and it's not doing super good. It hasn't been doing good in a while. I have it set aside because I might get into it and see if I can try to fix the problem. It's just kind of not looking the best. So anyhow, while I'm doing all this, I might as well show you a couple in the corner that are doing well. Over here in this corner, I have my Scindapsus picta exotica. Didn't think I could crack the code on this one. Well, guess what? All it needs is humidity. Once I gave it some humidity, it has a beast. And I had it up here temporarily. Well, it's going to stay up here permanently. So this is always going to be in the corner of my working area. All right. Another plant that's doing well in my increased humidity would be my Monstera Peru. So it's looking quite lovely. We got new growth coming in, and I put him over here in the corner. He seems to like it right here. So that's what we got going on over there. All right. I do keep vinegar in here because probably about once a month to month and a half, I have to clean out my humidifier. Gets lots of buildup. So I always have a jug of vinegar up here. My daughter did send me this stack of 5 plant stands, and I think I'm going to use most of them in my grow tent. I think it'll make it a little easier if I don't have to bend down quite so far to get to the plants that are on the bottom. But anyhow, here's 3 of them. They come in 5 different sizes. I've got the other 2 over here already. So you'll see what the final product will be after I get that all put back together. I think for right now I'm going to put them up here because I need to vacuum. One of my plants that always does really good without much fuss whatsoever. It's actually in this little pitty plastic cup. I'm afraid to move it because of how good it does. But this is my Hoya Chelsea. And I got new growth point here, new growth point here, new growth point here. I have the outer variegated one. And it's not Moon Shadow, it's the other one. Eclipse. It's Chelsea Eclipse. And that one does not do as well. However, my plain green Chelsea, beautiful. That one's one that's doing very well right now. Let's see what else we got doing really well. Oh, well, I'm thrilled about this one. These Hoya Chelsea are not easy plants, in my opinion, but I do have a new leaf on this one, so I am excited about that. Looks like I got another start of a leaf up here as well. But that was not a leaf. My Hoya Meredithii, which has not done well in quite a while, is now, I put it in some new soil. It's got a little baby leaf starting right there, and I got a leaf right here. So that one's doing pretty good. My Hoya Imperialis, I almost killed it, people. I had to start back from the beginning. But you know what? I love these clear containers because you can check roots and see if they're healthy. And mine are. And then as well, I got 2 new leaves. So I think we're finally on the road to recovery. My dream is to someday bloom this out, because if you have not seen a Hoya Imperialis bloom, I will show you one right here. They are beautiful. And more than anything, I want some Hoyas that have the big blooms. There's another one I want. Schleif's Tropicals has it. I just don't have the money for it. And I'm trying to think of the name of it. Hoya, I'll put a picture of it. I don't have this one. I would love to have it one day. I keep wanting to say imbricata, but it's not imbricata. It's a different one. Got the name down below, got the picture over here. Another plant that does better in its green version, as opposed to the variegated, is my Hoya Chelsea. We've got, he's kind of like a year-round bloomer for me. I mean, the blooms aren't that exciting. They're actually starting to drop off right now, but this thing grows pretty easily. Only problem is he likes to take up a lot of room on my shelf, as you can see. He kind of just sprawls out all over. However, I do have good news on my inner variegated Chelsea. I think I finally figured him out. And the trick is water, lots of it. This one does not like to be underwatered. It actually likes a little bit more of a moist soil. And so I finally got that. I did take it out of the grow tent. I thought it was a little bit more sensitive to that bright of a light. So I have it over here in my window, and as long as I keep it the soil fairly moist, it does really good. I'm expecting big things out of this plant. Here is a non-Hoya that I had to try to figure out, and I think I did. It did not like terracotta. It also likes to have a little bit more water. This is my watermelon Dischidia, and it's in a little pot, but boy, is it happy. It is growing here, it's growing here, it's growing over here. Like, okay. Oh, it's growing right here too. I finally figured this one out. So I think Dischidia are probably my second favorite aside from Hoya. Here's a good one. My Hoya Chelsea. We've been on quite the journey. This is several propagations. What I did is I originally had my Hoya Chelsea in a large terracotta pot, too large for the plant. So it never really did well. It didn't die, it didn't thrive, it just always kind of looked the same, kind of pathetic. And the leaves that did grow out, they weren't cupped like this, they weren't thick like this, and that's when you think of Hoya Chelsea, that's the look you want, because if you don't get that, it just looks like a carnosa. And you really want those cupped leaves, thick cupped leaves. Well, guess what? Humidity is the trick. So what I ended up doing was I repotted several small pots. I'll show you some that I still have. Here's some more of my Hoya Chelseas that I have. I put them all into small pots like this. And once they started growing out, I took some of the best looking ones and I put them into this pot. This is going to be my mother plant. These ones I'll either add to it later or I'll sell or trade, I don't know. But just to give you an idea, here's what the leaves were looking like before repotting. Those are some of the old leaves. We got a new one starting in on that one, but the repotting, putting them in higher humidity, that was the trick. So now I've got a bunch of lush Hoya Chelseas. I've even got a couple more in here. Here's a couple more of my Hoya Chelsea. So yeah, and I've sold a few as well. So it ended up making a lot of plant once I did cut them up. I have a larger pubic calyx, but this is my smaller one, and it is just going crazy in the grow tent. Okay, I had to switch to the other angle, but I'm getting ready to start in on my grow tent. So I'm going to clean out the bottom and show you some plants along the way. So here we go. like it's looking somewhat better in here. You can see. We can get a rag and clean out all of that. And then I'm going to put my little plant stands in there. Hoya quinervia is doing excellent, by the way. So I had to repot it to get some new growth, but it's been doing awesome since then. All right. So the floor is definitely looking a little better. Let me show you some plants I am proud of in here. So number one is going to be my Hoya Rosita. Now I'm actually going to change the angle so you guys can get a better look. This is my Hoya Rosita. And this lives in my grow tent. It likes the grow tent. Like some sun stress very badly and some stress very well. And this is one of the ones that just sun stresses so beautifully. It loves everything that is going on in the grow tent, and that's where he plans to stay. But a lot of new growth since I first got it. That is my Hoya Rosita. I'm telling you, if there's one Hoya that's a little bit rarer to find, but is a must-have, it's going to be the Hoya globulosa. This is also known as Hoya villosa. I have two mother plants. I've sold several cuttings. I have one cutting rooting up right now. This is my second mother plant. My original one is up here. I'll show it real quick. This is my other Hoya villosa, or globulosa, also known as Hoya villosa. This is all the same plant. But the one that's in the grow tent, I repotted it into one of these clear containers because I want to know always what's going on with the roots. Well, this is what's going on with the roots. You can see very, very nice roots. We've got growth point here. We've got growth point here. We've got growth point down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves coming out as we speak. These Hoya are very thick. They're pubescent. They have that little bit of like a hairy type feel to them. And they're easy. They are so easy. They propagate easy. They propagate like this. Like they are so easy to propagate. And they're just not that hard to take care of. I mean, you would think that something that looks as exotic as this is going to be a pain in the butt. Well, not this one. So this is another one that's doing excellent in my grow tent. Here is another one that is doing great in my grow tent. That is my Hoya Callistophylla. This is the second Callistophylla I've owned. The first one I did kill, and at the time when I bought it, it was, I want to say like $90. I think it was $89.99 or $84.99 or something like that. It was the first expensive plant that I've ever bought, and it broke my heart when it died. Like I had a hard time getting over that. But since then, the Callistophylla has come down in price. And I don't remember exactly what I paid for this one. It was probably about half of what I paid for the original one. So I'm guessing it was maybe like around $45 maybe. But just in the past few weeks, it has started this leaf up here, and we got another little baby leaf down here. So I have it in the grow tent. It is under some shade of some other plants. So I do think it needs that little bit of extra shading. but it's doing awesome. I will probably propagate this at some point, but I'm not willing to do it yet. So that's another plant that's doing good is my Hoya Chelsea. There is another one that took a little bit of extra time to get going, but now it's going very well. It loves the grow tent. Look at that leaf. This is my Hoya Chelsea. I've got leaf down here, one right up here. These ones are awesome. I mean, like, this is what it does when you sun stress it. But anyhow, I have gotten 2 new leaves that had recently come up. And I realized I kind of made a mistake because I put this little thing on to hook it to the fencing, and now I can't get it off without breaking it because I have a leaf and I have another leaf. These 2 are brand new leaves. And it's still going. So, let's see what we got here. We might have some more popping up soon. So, but these 2 are the 2 newest leaves. I mean, a week ago, they were probably half the size. So that's how fast they've been growing. I've got it in this little container. I may have to chop and prop and just make a bigger plant out of it. We're definitely going to let these 2 harden off first before we do that. They're not even hardened off yet, so they're not done. Ew, and there's a mealybug. All right, well, let me go take care of this mealybug, and then I'll show you something else. Ugh. This is also very top heavy. I cannot just set it down. I think I'm just going to have to get it with my finger and smear it off, and yuck. Okay, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm already making a mess on my floor. I just vacuumed. So anyhow, that's another plant that is thriving in my grow tent, and that is Hoya Chelsea. So this is my Hoya Gunungading. It sun stresses lovely, as you can see. I don't have any new leaves yet, but we have little itty bitty things starting. I'm right on the cusp of getting some leaves on this branch right here. So another one that absolutely loves the grow tent. And I do have somebody waiting to get cuttings of this, but they may have to wait a while because I'm not going to cut into it too quickly. So that's my Hoya Gunungading. I totally can't leave these out. These are both my Hoya bilobata. I had them both in a terracotta pot. They dried out, and once they dried out, when I went to water them, I killed the roots. So I repotted into 2 smaller containers. I typically, when I do a repot, I usually do 2. That way, if one don't make it, maybe the other one will. However, they like the grow tent. They do not like terracotta, but they do like the grow tent. We have new growth here, here, over here on this one. Over here, we've got new growth coming right at the end. We've got some new growth right in here. We got a couple baby leaves right there. I mean, yeah, it's doing great. Oh, these are baby leaves too right here. So I'm eventually going to pot them back together because I would like a bigger, fuller plant, but I'm not going to do it yet. They're on too much of a growth spurt right now to really want to mess with that. But I do have them next to each other in my grow tent. That is Hoya bilobata. It may be Affinity Bretonnier, but it was sold to me as bilobata. That's what I'm calling it. Another one. This was one I just had to have. This is my Hoya GPS 7240. This is the one where they have the little spots. They look like little green jelly beans. So I have him in my grow tent. I want to keep that thickness of the leaf that it currently has. And I've got this growing off of it. And then I have another one that's kind of similar, but it's thinner leafed. It does sun stress differently. And that is my Hoya Atlas River, which I believe is a form of sigillatus. But he's also doing good in my grow tent. I thought the new leaves coming on would be a little bit thicker. Well, they're still coming in, so they might thicken up. But I do have growth points here and here, as well as down here. So two of my smaller plants that are doing well in the grow tent. This is Hoya GPS 7240. This is Hoya Sigillatus Atlas River. So I think that's all the Hoya I'm going to show you for right now. I'm going to get back in here and put in my plant, little plant holder things, and then I'm going to call it a day for the video. So one more that does really good in my grow tent. I have two of them. This is usually the one I propagate from. This is my Hoya Chelsea. But I feel like this one is doing better than the one I have downstairs. So maybe I might just kind of like chop this up and make a fuller plant and keep it in the grow tent because it seems to like the grow tent. So, but this is my Hoya Chelsea. And it's that long. Okay, so I guess here is the finished product for now. Oh, hang on. Okay, so here's the finished product for now. I did clean up all the dirt and everything from the bottom. I put all these plants on these nice plant stands. And I think that's probably going to be it for today. Everything's looking pretty good. And I think there we got it. All right, that's it. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you like my videos. I do plan on having a complete upstairs and downstairs Hoya tour sometime soon. And I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. So until next time, bye.